tour of California. Over 100 new foreign journalists joined the media pack. They've all come thinking they'll get access to Arnie, get to know him, share a coffee, share the toilet. So what if it's crowded? How little they know what's in store.
We have 6 buses, over 220 members of the media from over a dozen countries, and we're going to be starting in San Diego and heading up north through cities big and small and talking directly with the voters.
Then the Los Angeles Times spoils the party. 6 women give the paper detailed accounts of alleged inappropriate sexual behavior by Arnie. Surely this will derail the campaign, or at least wreck the first day of the bus tour.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. A lot of those what you see in the stories is not true. But at the same time, I have to tell you that I always say that wherever there's smoke, there's fire. That is true. And so what I want to say to you is that yes, that I have behaved badly sometimes. Yes, it is true that I was on rowdy movie sets and I have done things that were not right, which I thought then was playful, but now I recognize that I have offended people. And to those people that I have offended, I want to say to them, I'm deeply sorry about that and I apologize because this is not what I tried to do.
Once again, Arnold's campaign team is ahead of the game. It's a masterstroke. The apology has taken the edge off the accusations.
Let's start the engine.
Looks like Arnold has a sense of humor. The buses are named after his movies. Running Man for Arnie's bus. Total Recall for the VIPs. And just to make sure we know our place, Predator 1 to 4 for the media. Arnie's on a roll. Like an unstoppable juggernaut, his poll ratings are still rising. Can anything get in his way? We quickly get used to the procedure. Off the bus, crowds cheer. Arnie makes a speech.
Because all they know how to do is spend, spend, spend. And then when they've spent the money they don't even have, then it is tax, tax, tax.
Same speech every time. T-shirts into the crowd, and then it's back on the bus. No time for awkward questions from reporters. The campaign team know exactly what they're doing. Only the big US television networks get access to Arnie, and then only rarely. They're the ones who can reach the voters. It's more like a presidential campaign than an election for governor. The rest of us are merely along for the ride.
I think that we're here to show just how interested the world is in Arnie, and rather than to ask any questions.
If we're just like extras in a movie and you know, in front of camera and saying, hey, he's got 200 reporters, and it's just a vanity show, then, yeah, I mean, that's the risk we take, just being used as props. You know?
Sometimes even the best-laid plans go awry. Starved of any access, the journalists suddenly have a real story fall into their laps.
I was sitting at the counter at lunchtime with a friend of mine, and in walked a bunch of bodybuilders. My friend saw Arnold Schwarzenegger and recognized him. She said to me, "That's Arnold Schwarzenegger." I didn't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger was. I don't keep up with bodybuilding. I didn't know who he was. They sat in a booth, they ate, they all got up and left. One stayed behind to pay the bill. Not Arnold, one of his friends. When he was done paying the bill, he walked up to me, sitting at the counter, and said to me, "Arnold wants to see you." And I said, if Arnold wants to see me, he can come back inside and see me. The guy then dragged me out of my chair, out of the coffee shop, into the lobby, out into the parking structure, and held me there. Arnold came driving down from an upper level in some sort of SUV-type vehicle. He wasn't driving, he was in the passenger seat. He rolled down the window, looked at me, looked at my friend, and said, "We are going to rape you girls tonight."
Arnold did.
Arnold did, yes, Arnold.
He got out of the car.
Gail Escobar was 16 when this happened some 25 years ago. The campaign team are quick to go on the attack.
She's on the organizing committee of the Hotel Employee and Restaurant Employee Association, which has recently pledged to raise $2.5 million to defeat the recall and elect Cruz Bustamante governor. So what we have here are the first direct fingerprints of union involvement and Democrat Party involvement in pushing these women forward to throw ridiculous and scurrilous accusations at Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the public is going to see through this for what it is. All right, thank you all.
Can we get your name?
Todd Harris, Toddharris. Minister of Truth and Information and Enlightenment.
People have known Arnold for a long time. They see him in his speeches. They watch him on C-SPAN. They watch him everywhere. And I think that they make up their mind that way, not on whether someone says something negative or not.
Yeah, Giuliani is around.
Arnold's problems aren't over. It's alleged he once said that he admired Hitler. You know how those rumors start. First your dad's a brown shirt, then you invite Kurt Waldheim to your wedding. Doug Saunders from the Toronto Globe and Mail has the full details.
Just to clarify matters, Schwarzenegger says, in many ways I admired people, it depends for what. I admired Hitler, for instance, because he came from being a little man with almost no formal education up to power. And I admire him for being such a good public speaker and for his way of getting to the people and so on. But I don't admire him for what he did with it.
But nothing seems to stick to the Teflon Terminator. His popularity is soaring.
Now, by the looks of it, you never know Arnold's campaign was being dogged by scandal. But even with controversy around every corner, Arnold is doing everything to keep his campaign on track.
You know, they told me that there will be a few hundred people here. I see a few thousand. Thank you all for coming out here.
Between Hitler and groping, no one knows what to talk about first.
Do the people of California have a right to know if the man they're about to elect governor has done things that might be legal, might not be legal, as far as these allegations in the LA Times?
Steve, I think it was asked and answered yesterday. He gave an apology yesterday and also indicated much of it wasn't true.
He never said if what he had done. I mean, Nixon once said the American people have a right to know if their president's a crook. Do the people of California have a right to know if their governor inappropriately touched each?
People of California have a right to know if their governor is a person of character. And I think what we saw yesterday was extraordinary, if not unusual, character of someone that's putting themselves out there for office, that went through showed the courage yesterday to stand up and say, I'm a man that's not perfect, and he apologized for some things.
The Hitler story is too big, and suddenly the campaign team require the presence of a TV crew on the bus.
Well, what I don't rule out is that they maybe have made comments in the past. You know, like I cannot think back 30 years ago, you know, what I said 30 years ago, or things, you know, mistakes that I made, I don't know. But I mean, this is not me, because from the time I was a kid, I grew up, you know, to fight prejudice. Even when I was 15 years old, when we had rallies in Austria that were kind of leaning towards that, in that direction, you know, the anti-Semitism and all this stuff, I was rallying against that, and I was there fighting for it. You know, for fighting against all of this.
Frustration among the foreign journalists is really beginning to boil over.
I try over there.
Barbara is from Austria, from the same small town as Arnie. She's been trying to get a one-to-one interview with him for weeks. Now she only has 20 hours to go. But there's no chance for Barbara or me.
Alex, out! Out! Both of you, I'm not going to argue with this right now.
Don't push me.
First, I didn't touch you.
I think it's the way they treat us. I think that's not fair. Guys, fast!
Barbara, keep going. Excuse me. Come through. There's no more room.
Maria!
Out of the blue, we are offered access, not to Conan the Republican, of course, just to the Viper King, who's quickly learned to love the limelight.
He's given no one-on-ones to newspapers,
He gave me a one-on-one. I interviewed him.
You're not a newspaper.
Okay, but I'm mainstream.
Little old me got an interview with George Bush, but I can't get one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean...
You know, the president does interviews on his terms. Arnold has a unique ability to do interviews on his terms, and part of it has to be understood. This is a very short campaign. If he doesn't use mass media in a mass way, he will not have enough time to speak to everyone.
I think as a political strategy, this is ingenious because it's meant that the Schwarzenegger campaign has completely owned the tail end of the election. And every day on TV, every night, there's a huge story about what Arnold did that day, and everything else that all the other candidates do is response to that. So what you see on TV is Arnold, 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 and then a little bit of Gray Davis saying Arnold, and a little bit of Cruz Bustamante saying Arnold, and then that's the end of it. And I think that's going to be the word that's going to be in people's minds at the end. I think he's good. He's very brilliantly decided to do this.
The game show is airing every night now. Like The Real Thing, it's become a simple popularity contest.
Welcome back to Who Wants to be Governor of California? Before the break, our finalists Brian, Nate, and Mary were asked to create an artistic rendition of their vision of California. And remember, go to gsn.com and hit the Play Now button so you can pick the final candidate you want to win $21,200.
The bus trip is over and Arnie's staging his largest event yet, his March on Sacramento. Over 15,000 people turn up outside the Capitol building. But this is Northern California, where not everyone's an Arnold fan.
Arnold wasn't doping, he was checking them out.
The biggest rally is met with the biggest protest so far. Sharon's hoping Capitol Kitty's in hiding.
That's your typical Arnold fan right there, because of his movies. So this is an embarrassment that he's even up here being able to take spot here on our state capitol ground. It's terrible.
How many women have you broke?
I want to be your governor. Oh, nice one there, huh?
Please bring me the broom now. Yes, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, to clean house. We are here to clean house. We are here to clean out, to sweep out the bureaucracy. We are here to sweep out the special interests. And we are here, number one, to sweep out Ray Davis. That's what we're going to do. I know when I come up here to Sacramento, and I will take over this office, special interests are gonna go crazy because they know I'm here to kick some serious butt.
On the night before the election, the Democrats make one final plea to the voters.
No way! No on the recall! No on Arnold! Yes on Gray Davis!
Vote in the House! Vote in the House! Vote no on recall!
My husband has never been accused of anything more serious than being dull. Right now, dull looks pretty good to me.
Vote for my husband, he's dull, was never a slogan which was going to work.
If you give me a chance to finish the term you elected me to, I'll work with all my heart, all my soul, and all my strength to bring this state together and to move us all forward together. And if they're going to recall every governor that has a deficit, then let's recall all 47 governors, Republicans and Democrats, that went from surplus to deficit. And let's recall the President of the United States because he went from the biggest surplus to the biggest deficit.
Finally, Judgment Day.
Here's your ballot.
This is so exciting. This is so fun. Wow.
So you're going to hand this to the ballot clerk and then put it in the ballot box. Follow me.
Done! It went in the hole.
Here we come. Stand by. 8 in 7, 6, 5.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much!
Show Network!
Thank you guys!
You did a fantastic job! Wait, she's groping me! There's groping going on here! Oh my God!
Well, certainly I felt a tremendous amount of pressure, but it was all internal. Some people call me the father of the recall. I don't know if I'm a father or a big brother, but what I do know is that the recall became the most important thing that I could contribute to the people of California. I needed it to be successful, and I needed one consensus candidate.
Thank you. And I know how many votes I got today because of you. I will not disappoint you, and I will not let you down.
Celebrity, cash, and the triumph of Arnold's will have won out. But I've come away with mixed feelings. Arnold was the most charismatic candidate by far. But with Gray Davis only 3 months into his second term in office, this California recall smacks of political retribution.
Great. I feel like democracy has really triumphed.
Will the governator really be able to bring back California? Or will Arnold's colourful past come back to haunt him in Total Recall, the sequel? And remember what they say, what California does today, the rest of America does tomorrow.
Congratulations to Arnold. Sorry, Gray. We all had a lot of fun, though, didn't we?
Oh, my God, so much fun. Let's do it again next year.
We'll do it again next year.
4 years.
I don't know. I love the man. I think he's really sexy, but I don't know for a politician. But, you know, maybe he might prove me wrong and actually do a good job. I don't know.
If anything goes wrong, he can just terminate it. And if something goes wrong with him, we can terminate him.
Arnold for governor, and Rambo for president. You got it. You can say, you can say.
Gouverneur Schwarzeneggers eerste voorstel tot lastenverlichting is het afschaffen van de belasting op auto's. Het hierdoor gederfde bedrag van $385 miljoen wordt verhaald op de thuiszorg van zo'n 75.000 bejaarden en gehandicapten.